Good morning, my movie-loving brothers and sisters. How you guys doing on this Friday afternoon? Thanks for joining us on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel, where we talk about all things movie, TV, and screen-related news. I am, of course, your humble host, Keith Toothman. I am joined today by a man that can only be explained or described as a master of his domain, Trevor Vincent Farney. Trevor, how are you doing today, buddy?
I am still the master of my domain. Elaine, you owe me several dollars. That's a Seinfeld joke. Anyway, I'm doing great. We made it all the way through the first week here. I made it through as a director in my play, so I feel great coming to this Friday. I had some water. I'm ready to freaking party.
Awesome. And how are you guys doing on this lovely morning? Let us know down in the comments section below. And don't forget, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can have your movie news when you need it, where you need it. We're going to go ahead and just jump right into the first main topic today. So yesterday I was browsing around on YouTube, as always, as we all are probably doing right now. And all of a sudden I get an ad. An unskippable ad too, so I'm forced to watch through it. It's rough, but it was for a movie that I had never heard of. It's called Violent Night.
Okay.
So I'm watching this, and at the very beginning, it says that it's from the guys that did Nobody and John Wick and stuff like that, and it definitely has that feel where it feels very like we're doing this again, but now it's Santa Claus. And I'm watching it, and I don't know why, but I just want to hate it because of this. Because I personally haven't had the chance to see Nobody yet myself, but I love the people behind it. What's the star of Nobody's name?
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, I love Odenkirk. I'll get around to watching it. And of course I love the John Wick series, but the thing is I just kind of feel like this is all over the place now. We have all these lady John Wick movies too. I seen one on Netflix the other day with like an old lady that's like getting vengeance for her neighbor's abduction, and she's like a sleeper agent that's been woken, and it's like anyways, so I'm watching the trailer, and again I want to hate it, and at some point through the trailer, there's like a series of like cheesy lines given by David Harbour, who I love,
right.
Playing Santa Claus, which is great. That's
right.
Great casting, of course. And
for violence.
He says stuff like, it's time. Guess it's time for some season's beatings. And I'm watching it when he said one before that. He was like, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah.
And I remember when he said that one, I was like, that was stupid. And then he said the season's beating one, and I just couldn't help it, man. I just started laughing. And it was at that moment I realized, it's like, okay, this looks fun. This looks good. And it looks like I would totally go out and see it. It's going to be out, it looks like around Christmas. It's a Christmas movie. It looks like a blast. I mean, again, I really love David Harbour. So, and the casting looks good. It looks really well made, obviously. And it just looks funny. I loved some of the really John Wick looking scenes we got. He stabs a guy through the mouth with a candy cane that he sharpened and stuff like that. Stuff looks great. The humor looks great. The action looks great. We know the action will be great, and when you got the guys from John Wick and Nobody involved. But Trevor, you've had a chance just recently this morning to check out this Violent Night trailer starring David Harbour. Give us your thoughts, man. What did you think?
Okay, so I first glimpsed just a bit of it when I believe I was watching professional wrestling last night right before I passed out, and I glimpsed it. I was like, what's going on here? They got the picture-in-picture where the fight's going on in like the corner here, so I'm paying attention to this, but it showed up and I was like, okay, strange. And then Key showed it to me this morning, and I was kind of along the same lines. At first I was like, dude, like, I'm a big Christmas man. I love Christmas. I love everything about it. I don't know if I want my Christmas to get all violent on him here. And then he started saying a few of the lines. I was like, man, I love this dude. He's one of my. Every time I've ever seen him, he's made me laugh. He's starting to turn me. He's starting to. Okay, all right. It's not. Because at some point it went from just being, like you said, like Santa Claus, John Wick with Santa Claus, to where it obviously has its own tone and its own vibe that it's going for, and it just looks batshit insane, and I'm fine with that. Honestly, I think it's kind of the perfect type of Christmas movie for our sort of like wild superhero type of generation, like it's really all over the place, off the wall, but it's still, it still has that element at the middle where it's like Santa Claus is doing this to help to make sure this little kid has a great Christmas.
Right.
So it still has the heart and soul of Christmas. It's just like crazy,
Right. Right. For sure. Yeah, I really liked the cheesy punchlines. It really reminded me of, we often talk about in our friend group, the Mr. Freeze, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, let's kick some ice. Chill out. It's cheesy, but it's so cheesy that it's almost, again, hilarious. Yeah. I mean, it's time for some season's beatings, and it really was good. I thought it was clever, and it looks great. Like I said, Christmas time is like we've been talking on the channel around here. It's like Halloween, but even more so. That it's a certain feeling, and people are gonna want to go out and see that movie. I bet that movie does well. Trevor, you think that movie does good at the box office?
I think so. I guess it a little depends. If the movie is as decent as it looks, then yeah.
Right.
Like if it's terrible, like if it comes out and like people are like, dude, this is just so stupid, probably not. But if it's even remotely good, people love an excuse to go to see it.
But you'd go see it, right?
Yeah. At this point, definitely.
We would totally go see this.
Definitely.
I'm definitely going to go see
exactly.
this.
I'd probably go to the AMC, get a couple drinks, maybe have some eggnog before.
Kick some ice.
They're gonna have some seriously cool cocktails concocted for that movie. Come on.
It's like a splash of blood,
This is the blood of a villain. So there you go.
For sure. Well, yeah, that's the first thing we wanted to talk about. Guys, what about you? Have you guys had the chance to check out this Violent Night trailer with David Harbour, where Santa Claus is kicking ice and taking names? If so, let us know down in the comment section below. What did you guys think of it? Does it look like something you would want to go see in theaters? Are you excited David Harbour is doing more stuff? Because I sure am.
Man, me too.
But so moving on to our second main topic today. So the second thing we want to talk about is, the trailer has finally dropped. It's upon us now, Trevor.
I'm excited.
Chris Pratt and the group of guys, a ton of them, Jack Black, Seth Rogen. Stacked star-studded cast in this Super Mario trailer that we finally got to see. Trailer you just got to see just this morning, Trevor, I know. But I had the chance to check this out when it dropped yesterday. And, man, going into it, I got to be honest with you guys, I had pretty much zero expectations. I didn't really know what to think other than, well, I like Mario and I like Chris Pratt and cool. That being said, I remember years ago when I met my wife, the very first movie we ever went to was a movie called The Lego Movie. My only expectations was to feel boob. So I definitely didn't give a damn about the movie. But, man, did that end up being such a good movie. And now we have sequel after sequel of those movies. And Chris Pratt was obviously the lead voice of the Lego Movie. And so yeah, I kind of viewed it in that same light. I have no expectations. I didn't even know that Chris Pratt was voicing the Lego Movie when I went, so at least I knew that about Mario. But I got to be honest with you guys, watching this trailer, I thought it was pretty cool. Like, obviously, it's a video game movie, and there's a lot of those, and mostly all of them are bad. We've recently had Sonic, which was really cool. The idea of this is really awesome. I would love, we were talking about on the show with Shane early in the week that, give me the Nintendo cinematic universe.
Right.
Give me the Donkey Kong. Give me the Mario. Give me Luigi. And then all of a sudden we get like the Avengers, but it's like Super Smash Bros. Like,
right, or like Mortal Kombat, but Super Smash Bros.
Give me that. But
come on.
But yeah, I will say that for me, we start out in the trailer with Bowser, and his big castle of land landing on these poor penguins, home. And I mean, it's got good comedy, but what I really liked about it was, that I was saying to you, Trevor, when you were watching it, that opening scene with Bowser coming out really reminded me of Thanos in a way. It's that big alien force, and there's all these people that are following, hear thee and rejoice. Koopas, is almost what it was like when that one Koopa was like, here, pulled out the scroll and was like, presenting our king of the Koopas. It almost felt like when Ebony Maw said that, like, hear thee and rejoice. Exactly. You are about to be killed by the hands of Thanos, Right. It felt that real. And then we had all this silly stuff happen that kind of broke that up. And I'm like, okay, this is what I really more expected. And then Bowser just unloads on these poor little things home.
Murders.
And he just destroys it all. And it is really cool. Obviously the animation is great. It looked beautiful, but man, I just love the tone of it. Jack Black plays Bowser too, which you gotta love, and it really
amazing.
looked cool. So then, right after that, immediately we cut to a scene where it looks like Mario kind of falls into a mushroom kind of world. So, this stuff wasn't near as good. Quite near as good as the Bowser stuff in the beginning. There's a lot of stuff going on the internet. This reminds me a lot of the Ugly Sonic scenario. There's a lot of stuff with people complaining about Chris Pratt's Mario voice. That's like a big one. And then there's complaints about Mario's butt too. I don't know if you've seen this, but he has like a really flat butt, and people are really upset that Mario has a flat butt because he does a lot of running. And right, and not that I give
an odd attention to that detail, but okay.
not that I give a damn, but yes, I will say this though. Chris Pratt's Mario voice was a little different.
Yeah.
But that being said, again, we talked about later on, in the week, and I'm pretty sure I asked you and Lucas this just the other day, is could you handle an hour and a half of, yoo-hoo, let's go get the princess?
No. Dude, you'd be driving your head into a wall. Imagine doing all the other lines like that, too. Like, they'd have to have, like, a lot. It works for a video game because it's just, like, doing every little things every hit. But you got to be like, and now we're going to go and try and defeat the Bowser, and then we are going to find my friend. I'm like, oh, my God. Even, like, 2 seconds of that starts to get really annoying.
Right. So that being said, like, I completely understand why, like I said, the word I used to describe Chris Pratt's Mario voice, different. Yeah. It's definitely different. Now, here's what I will say is that the first time I heard it, I was definitely like, oh my God, that didn't sound like Mario at all. And then I watched it a couple of more times, and I think it actually hits like this kind of perfect medium of giving you that Mario voice we know of, yoo-hoo, but also being a real person. And I kind of think he's hitting that. Now, that being said, too, we got a line, guys. We literally got a line. He spoke one line pretty much in the whole 3-minute trailer. So to kind of start, pointing fingers and saying that his voice for Mario isn't this or that is just kind of ludicrous considering, not only have we not seen the film, but we haven't even heard him say a full paragraph of dialogue. Right. So I think it's pretty unfair. The world we live in, though. We're always going to get these kind of people complaining about whatever they can find to complain about. Right. But, the other things I just want to quickly go over before I let, Trevor give us his take on the Super Mario trailer is that the most exciting news that I probably could have got out of this was the fact that one of my favorite human beings and favorite actors, comedians, and creators is Seth Rogen. And I found out, and Trevor, I don't know if you know this or not, but if not, you'll learn right now that Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. Oh. The voice of Donkey Kong. So if we ever do get that Nintendo Cinematic Universe, we're going to get a Donkey Kong movie starring Seth Rogen. What's better than that? I want to see him in the in a mocap suit. I want Donkey Kong to kind of have that Seth Rogen look, like they do with Mark Ruffalo and the Hulk. Right. How the Hulk kind of looks like Mark Ruffalo. Right. I want it to be like that, but with Donkey Kong and Seth Rogen's face, just a little. And we still have to have the laugh, right?
Right, you got it.
Right. We need that.
Throws a barrel.
We need that cinematic universe of Nintendo stuff. So not only
need to see Marth.
Not only that, like I said, Jack Black finding out that he is doing the voice of Bowser was really cool. I knew it sounded familiar when I watched the trailer. Right. So did the King Penguin. Yeah, I didn't ever figure out who it was, but. Which was also hilarious, attack, and you see the penguin's face after they start throwing the king's like, yeah, that's right. Should have thought twice about this, dude. And then they halt, and he's like, that was just a taste of our wrath. Now do you yield?
No. Ooh, that was crazy.
And yeah, so yeah, I really thought it was great. There is, some stuff going on online about negative stuff about voices and all that stuff, but like I said, we'll find out more when we actually hear more and stuff. But Trevor, you had a chance to check out the Super Mario Brothers or whatever we're calling it trailer with Chris Pratt just a little bit ago before we went on air. Give us some of your thoughts,
man. I gotta give it up to that trailer, man, because I mean that was a great trailer, because you got to ask yourself, what is a trailer supposed to do?
Increase your hype for the movie.
Exactly. And I had literally zero hype for the movie. I didn't care. I vaguely knew it was happening, but it didn't reserve a spot in my brain. So when someone said, hey, there's a Mario trailer coming out, I was like, oh yeah, they are making a Mario movie. I was like, okay, whatever. And then Keith threw it on. I was like, oh, okay, let's watch it. Well, there's a very different Trevor that started that trailer than that ended that trailer, because the one that at the end of it is extraordinarily excited for that movie. That looked freaking hilarious. If we can get that tone of that thing all the way through, because it walked that line so well of like it was funny, but it was funny because it took itself seriously. And then had real stake, that the penguin, granted, so it's animated, so it's not near as violent, but he just roasted those penguins and killed all of them. He just did a penguin genocide, and it's of course in this kind of cute drawing, so it's not going to be so intense for the little people, but for us, we get to actually have that. Dang, this is a villain. This is a terrifying and unhinged creature. And not only that, he laughed before he did. So it's little things like that. It was a great storytelling moment. And as far as the Mushroom Kingdom, I have no godly idea what is going on there. He slid down a pipe to a world of that psychedelic mushroom that I can't remember the name of right now. And then met Toad, and then they walked off. I have nothing to say about it other than it looked cool. Toad looked cool. All the voice acting sounded fine. To me, I always try and keep in mind, and you say this a lot too, Key, it is an adaptation. You know, like, you cannot take Mario the game and then just fill in the little sections in the middle to make it a movie.
For sure.
You have to take the thing that you had, which was a game, and you have to make it into a movie with the same characters and respecting those characters.
Use the two most important things you have, right? You have an amazing character that everyone knows and loves.
Yes.
And then you got an amazing world, like a universe, like Mushroom Kingdom world and all these different places. I mean, they're just awesome.
Well, and another thing I loved about it is that it immediately did even more world building by like going to this land of the penguins and opening it up, and it's like, well, there's other kingdoms out there, and they're all like kind of chilling, and they're all kind of cute and fun, but there is this being out there that just wants to destroy all of them, and he does, you know. So you get to see this whole other race and species that, at least, I'm not like a huge into Mario mythos, but I've never seen the penguins in the Mario games or anything. So, you know, you got these little dudes you never seen before. You spread out the world, and you show how, you know, scary Bowser really is. And so that was a great trailer because it took me from no hype to being hyped, you know. And I was never going to be upset about that not sounding like that voice. Right. If you got like an Italian man, whatever, but like, again, to me,
only if it's an Italian plumber, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It has to be an Italian plumber.
It has to be an Italian plumber. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what excites me the most about the idea of this is that there's so many characters in that Nintendo world that we really love that are like, I mean, really good characters. Think about Link.
Yeah.
Like a
that
Link
could be
movie.
A great movie.
Right. Or me and Shane talked about Samus.
Yeah.
You know?
That'd be such a cool movie.
Right. There could be some, like, Samus basically like an alien movie. You know? I mean, that would be awesome, dude. I mean, there could be so much. I mean, even listen, guys, a Donkey Kong movie with Seth Rogen sounds like what the world is in need of.
Right. That's the uniting stuff.
We need those kind of things, man. That sounds awesome. What's he doing? Just hanging out in the tree house, just chilling? I mean, I don't even know. Who's Diddy Kong? Like James Franco? What are we, like, this is awesome. Like, I just want to do this. Like, it's him and Jay Baruchel or something. Or it's like,
it should totally be
right,
that would be so funny. Oh my! Who's Donkey Kong's like nemesis? Who does he fight?
The like crocodile dudes. Like
okay,
the alligator looking dudes.
That could be like Jonah Hill or something.
Yeah, there you go. Right, bring them in. I love all those guys, and I would love to see anything like that. Honestly.
Oh my God! Yeah, right. I'd watch a Crash Bandicoot movie. I mean, I know that's not them, but like, I would also watch a Crash Bandicoot movie if anyone happens to be listening out there.
Right, I agree. But there's a lot more. You know, we talked about recently the Sony universe, you know, making their movies too. So it's possible that we get more. I mean, we have the Sonic universe. Do we get a Mario Sonic crossover universe? There is a Mushroom Kingdom in Sonic as well that we have seen already. So could we get those kind of things?
Are they setting that up?
Right. What are they doing? I don't know. But honestly, guys, you know, this really looks fun. It looks good. Also, it's something that, you know, I would definitely want to take my daughter out to see. Like people's children will love this kind of movie. Obviously, it just looks, you know, friendly, family, fun, and it's bright, it's vibrant, it's colorful, and it's Chris Pratt, it's Seth Rogen, it's Jack Black, it's, you know, everybody. So, yeah, what about you guys? Have you guys checked out the Super Mario Brothers trailer? You guys just completely thrown off that the glutes aren't there on Mario, or is it the voice for you, or
He's been skipping leg day.
what is it for you? We also did, real quickly before we move on from this, we did finally get to see a shot of my main man.
Luigi.
The Luigi.
The Luigi is in the building.
He is. And not only is he in a building, it looked like to me, now I don't want to read too far into this because, again, we don't want to jump too far ahead of ourselves on this whole cinematic universe.
Right.
But it looked like to me that he ran into a mansion.
A mansion? Don't you get me too excited, Keaton.
Looked like he ran into a mansion to me, and then he locked the door and locked himself in said mansion.
I mean,
Trevor,
that's a great setup. That's a natural built setup right there. So
And
he's the reason you even got a good reason he's in there. He was running away from Bowser.
We could have seen this. Could be that little scene could be a piece of like a post credit scene.
Yeah,
that we see that Luigi is
so
now
cool.
having to deal with his own movie universe problems,
Which would be cool.
which would be cool because
if they do this right, I'd love to see
Luigi's Mansion is one of the coolest Mario games ever made.
Like a horror movie.
Period.
In there.
Right.
That'd be so cool.
It would be awesome. Yeah, for sure. I would love to see it.
Who's playing Luigi? Is it if it's not John Leguizamo, I'm gonna cry.
But anyway, again, yeah, guys, let us know down in the comment section below. Have you guys checked out the new Super Mario trailer? What was your guys' favorite part about it? Comment in and let us know. I'm super intrigued to see what everyone thought about it. So our third main topic, the next thing I want to talk about today is, so on yesterday's show, we kind of had breaking news that Henry Cavill is coming back to reprise his role as Superman. If you didn't catch that, it's been clipped into a smaller video. Go check it out on the channel. But now it seems that we're getting a little bit more news, Trevor. So
more news.
So it seems as if though as being reported, and I'm gonna go over here to. Here we go. But yeah, what's being reported right now is that this is coming to us from CBR that Henry Cavill's Superman is not only returning for Black Adam, but it appears that he is returning for possibly a sequel movie to Man of Steel, which I would just like to say, it's about damn time.
Right? What are you waiting for?
What has been going on over there?
Get your shit
It's
together,
been,
dudes.
12 years, 10 years? 10 years now. It was 2012 when that movie came out. It's been 10 years. It's been a decade. This man's had the cape in the closet for 5 of those years, and I am just sick of it. Again,
That's
it's one
a lot
of
of people's favorite superhero movies.
It's one of the most underrated comic book movies ever made. I understand why people dislike it, but it's a good movie. And regardless whether lots of people enjoyed it or not, it still has decent critic reviews, it made money. So and it's Superman. It is the premier comic book character, period.
Yeah.
Guys, period. Marvel, DC, it doesn't matter. This is the premier comic book character. And to set this thing on the shelf for a decade seems ridiculous. Wow. So I want to start by just saying, yeah, it's about damn time. And thank you. Thank you, universe, or whoever. There's lots of gods, whoever it is.
Whichever God was responsible.
We appreciate it. But I'm just glad to see him back. We just heard about him coming back as Black Adam, or in Black Adam, but to hear that we may be getting a Man of Steel 2 is really nice to hear. And the thing is as we talked about, yesterday, the question has been, not will we get a Man of Steel 2, but will we even get Henry Cavill back as Superman? And it seemed like no, but I do want to read a couple things here that from this article on CBR. During a recent episode of Marvel Vision podcast, industry insider Devin Fariachi claimed that not only is Cavill back as the Man of Steel in Black Adam, he is set to headline a standalone Superman film next. The reason why Henry Cavill has returned as Superman and Black Adam is because, and I mentioned this yesterday, is because, quote, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson demanded it, Faraci said. Like he went hard. This is a quote. Like he went hard, full court press on Warner Brothers and made them go to Henry Cavill. And they had to sign a new deal with Henry Cavill, including saying they were going to develop a new Superman movie. And it was all because The Rock insisted.
Can you smell what The Rock's cooking? He's cooking up a gosh
What did I say?
superhero
I
movie.
said yesterday on the show, I said, yeah, they didn't want Henry Cavill back possibly. Henry Cavill didn't want to be back possibly. But when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson calls your phone, you don't say no to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And if this headline, this story proves anything, it's that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is Hollywood, guys. He is Hollywood. He is big time, bigger than big time right now. He made the calls. He's like, you want me, you want this, then you do what I say. I don't care if you don't like him. I do. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Wild.
I'm so glad to hear this news. I'm so glad that The Rock went out and fought for his friend, fought for, in my opinion, the best iteration of Superman we've had, the best actor we've had, the best made for the role actor.
Yeah.
I mean, he not only does he look like Superman, he feels like him.
Yeah.
He's just a great Superman.
And behind him too, like you just like if you even sort of follow him, you just know he's just a great dude.
Right. And that's what I was
guy.
saying with him and The Rock having the same agent too. You know, these guys are kind of buddy too. So it's at the end of the day, it's a friend helping a friend, and that's just awesome. That's just awesome to hear. I mean, not only does this mean that again we're gonna get him in Black Adam for sure. Now it seems as though is that we're probably gonna get this Superman movie in development here in the next couple of years. I mean, Henry Cavill's not getting no younger, so we better get it done. And from rumors from the releases from Mexico that were leaking yesterday, they were saying some of the people, audience members that seen it, were saying that this Man of Steel had the brighter colors on his suit. Like he had the original suit from Man of Steel, but it was all vibrant and bright, which tells me probably we're going to see that Superman that all of you that couldn't stand Man of Steel are going to want to see. We're going to see that, you know, your cat stuck in the tree, Superman, you know, which is cool, I think. And I'm sure we'll get a healthy balance.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited to see, you know, where we go with this. You know, who do they bring on to direct this? You know, we had the J.J. Abrams Superman that was just, you know, blown up and kicked off and kicked out, and so that's gone now. There's been talk of a black Superman movie with potentially Michael B. Jordan or someone like that, and so where would that, you know, leave all of us, and where does that leave, you know, the DCEU with Superman and Shazam and all of these other things? Is there so many? All this really does is not only get us excited, but just adds a lot more questions. And yeah, as we move forward, I'm excited to see the answers to those questions and see what happens with those kind of things. But Trevor, you're having a chance to now, you know, hear this quote. You know, you're having a chance to hear what The Rock has done for his pal Henry Cavill, and not only for him, but for us as fans and the world. Yes, for the world he's done. And what are your thoughts? Give us some of your thoughts on this.
Well, I'm very excited about it. I'm extremely excited about it. It's, to me, the Man of Steel thing has been one of those things I've just been baffled by since the start. I remember watching it in the theaters, and at the time I was very like, I was late high school, and I had just really started to dive deep into movies. So I kind of went through that. I was going through that phase where I was super criticky about everything. And so, like, at the time, I remember seeing the critics, like, rating on there. I was like 55. I was like, probably not going to be that good. and so like it really affected the way I saw it. But the second time I watched it, I remember thinking, man, you know what? Like, at least the first half of this movie is amazing. And then the more I've watched it, I've gotten older and I've kind of gotten away from that extremely strict way of looking at movies. I've seen it as what it is. It's like, I think it's an underrated like masterclass in a superhero movie. Like, and we were talking about like how probably now he'll have the more brighter look of the Superman. What I love and apparently will continue to love about this Henry Cavill Superman is that we have gotten a progression. You know, like a lot of the times when we see and think of Superman, we think of Superman deep into his career. It's like he understands now how powerful he is. He understands how to handle that power, and he uses it amazingly, and he's the best of all of us. But when the one we saw earlier, he's a dude with a big heart, a big heart, and a good upbringing that's helped him to do things. But he has never faced anything even remotely like what he is now being faced with, including the media storm that's coming with it. So you see this guy grow right in front of everybody, and so he makes mistakes, and he does things that maybe the Superman that we know wouldn't really do because he's young and doesn't know how to do it yet. But I like another big thing about the Man of Steel, between it and Wonder Woman is probably my two favorite, like just original natural DC movies. I don't need the director's cut of any of these. They're good by themselves. But if you watch all the way through this series, like with the Zack Snyder director's cuts, you get to see that progression. You get to see him in the next one. You know, like he's went through this and he's repentant and he's trying to make it better. But he's still that heart is pushing all the way through. And then finally in Justice League, we see him like come back from the dead and kind of lose himself. And then finally we see him kind of settle into that Clark that we all know and love, you know, and start to really, it's like, well, I've been dead now. So, I mean, I guess that can't hold me back. So, well, I mean, this is kind of an interesting life. Let's just chill then, you know. And it's been a cool progression, and the fact that it's been sitting on the shelf to me, it's just baffling to me. And it to me, it's just a symptom of the fact that obviously Warner Brothers has no clue what it's doing right now. Like it is completely in chaos over there, and it has been for a while. And I think and it. It's crazy that it took The Rock, and it's crazy that The Rock can do something like this, like to just be so, you know, like just politely pestering about it, to where it was just all this time it could have happened, but it just took one dude to just be like, dude, come on, you're sitting on a gold mine, do something with this, bring him into my movie, make more of this movie. This dude is good at this role. You're just wasting him. Come on, you know? And I can almost picture The Rock in the room having these conversations just because the dude is so... There's no one like The Rock, you know, because he's just like... He'd make a good Superman in a lot of ways because he has so much like power in a lot of ways, but he is so generous with it and kind with it. And I love that dude. And it just... On top of all that, to close it off, it's another reason why I love The Rock so damn much. You know,
no doubt. No doubt. I mean, I mentioned it yesterday that they may not have wanted Henry Cavill back, but again, when Dwayne calls your phone, man, no one in Hollywood is not answering that call. No one. And then when he asks you for a favor or says that we need to do this, it's yes, Mr. The Rock Johnson. That's the only way to respond. That, or you may get people's elbow too. So you don't want to mess with The Rock, man.
No, only is he charismatic. He is big and can, and like you said, people's elbow.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, really cool. You know, like I said, that this is happening. You know, again, this is really early on, and this is, you know. There's nothing reported yet for, you know, if there's a script or who would be writing it or who would be directing or producing or anything like that. But if I had to guess, I would guess that Dwayne The Rock Johnson would be somewhat involved, even if on just a producer level. But yeah, so and it's pretty cool. You know, guys, if you had a chance to hear this and check this out, Henry Cavill coming back, not only in Black Adam, but also gonna finally get that Man of Steel 2 movie that we're all dying and waiting to see. Let us know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Are you guys excited to see Henry Cavill? Do you guys hate Man of Steel 2? You know, it's a divisive thing, so let us know. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to our last and final main topic today. So, last night, 2 a.m. here, our time, Werewolf by Night dropped.
That's correct.
We were going to do a, pre-show for it.
We were ready.
But we couldn't.
That's true.
But we did watch it.
I was picked off by a werewolf myself, actually.
And honestly, it was very good. It was really, really unique.
Yeah.
It was one of the most unique comic book things that I'd ever seen, but definitely one of the more unique Marvel things that I'd ever seen. Now, the only thing that I could compare it to, and I hate doing this because, but it is what it is, but it had that WandaVision thing to it, again, that it's just so different. Like, right. What is this? WandaVision, especially earlier on when we were watching those first couple of black and white sitcom episodes, we were just like, what are we doing here? What are we watching? What did they make?
Right.
And that definitely is kind of how this felt. It was like, whoa, this is different. Right. And
what am I about
this
to watch?
Is really, really different. And as it went on and on further, all the way to the end, it just continued to be really different. Obviously, it's in black and white, which I love. It seems that they went that direction to be able to be more gruesome and have more gore, because you can't see the blood. So you can see it, but it's black instead of red. So and I actually read this morning that Marvel initially completely rejected the idea of doing it black and white and thought that we can't do it, we don't want to. But they were kind of led to believe that this was the best way to go, and I clearly believe that was right. But that being said, again, I really, really enjoyed it. Some of the highlights for me, the stuff between Man-Thing and Werewolf, like the buddy stuff. God, come on, man. Give me the Man-Thing, Werewolf by Night buddy cop movie. Right? They're just out, trying. It's not even, they're just trying to be them. They're not. They don't want to hurt people or mess with anything, so they're just trying to.
They don't want to really save anyone. They just want to kind of stay.
I love that Man-Thing can brew coffee. I mean,
that's hilarious.
I didn't know how much in my life I needed that, but yes, Man-Thing can brew coffee. So if I ever do meet him in another life, he could brew me a cup. So that's pretty awesome.
Right. That's right.
And I loved, the display of his powers. If you don't know anything about Man-Thing, if you fear him, then when he touches you, it will burn you. And so when we see him walk out, first time we see him, and he launches at the bearded hunter guy, and he's like, rah! He puts the fear of God into the dude, and then he grabs him like this, and when he does, it burns the dude into dust because the dude
terrifying.
Right.
That's a genius. That's amazing.
Right, but what also is great about it too, again, and following that same line, is when Werewolf by Night first, when we first see Man-Thing and Werewolf by Night sees him in between the trees, the first thing that Werewolf does is he reaches in and they embrace each other, and there's no burning because he's not afraid of Man-Thing. It's his buddy.
Right.
What was his name again?
Jack?
No. Ted, right?
Ted.
Yeah,
Ted.
it's
Yeah,
Ted.
the man thing, yeah.
Ted, come on. I mean,
That's
honestly, at first, I was a little like, oh, man, this might be too silly. But I ended up really enjoying what they did with Man-Thing.
Right.
I thought they honored the character well. God, I would love to see more of that. And I hope we do. The guy that played Werewolf by Night was great. All the acting was great. The lady that played who I thought was Jessica Jones for a while was great. Definitely not Jessica Jones. I loved the action of it, the gore. That scene where she kills the Japanese guy and she has to roll over into the little garden and like hold his mouth so the guy with the axe doesn't hear him. That was great. The scene where he's turning into the werewolf and we have the flashing of the light and you have that old school so cool. Like you can see it happening on the wall. Right. Oh, God, I love that. I really, really love it. I love the old horror tropes. I loved the kind of homage to it. You know, me and Shane talked about earlier this week that maybe that they were going to kind of poke fun at that era because kind of as film goers, we kind of do, right?
Right.
We kind of do now. We kind of poke fun at.
It's been seen so
I mean,
many
even
times
if you think about Nosferatu is poked fun at in like SpongeBob.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, right. I mean, Nosferatu is in SpongeBob.
Yeah, he is. He's a character inside of that world of SpongeBob.
And so we kind of, you know, Bela Lugosi's Dracula, you know, all of these things are kind of in a way poked fun at now. So we thought that there's a chance that they you know, do that. And I thought that would kind of be cool in a way because, you know, but they didn't do that. They went into the way of fully honoring and taking these films for the seriously, like me and Shane said, what probably were at the time frightening films to see.
Yeah.
I mean, in 1940, to see Bela Lugosi's Dracula was probably disturbing, where watching it now may be funny. But they did an excellent job of bringing us that in 2022.
Yes.
And
yes,
God,
exactly.
I thought it was really, creepy. Really, really well made. I really do. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it. As well as Miss Marvel was, I mean, and it really was, guys. If you haven't checked out Miss Marvel, what are you waiting on? Go check that out. I know it doesn't maybe seem like it could be for you, but
it is for you.
It is a great show, but I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna come out and say it. The best thing Marvel that I've seen this year is Werewolf by Night. It is. It's hands down the best thing Marvel I've seen this year. Now, it is also hands down my favorite thing Marvel that I've seen this year too. And usually those things aren't always, you know, typically in line with each other, but in this case they are. Like It was my favorite, and it was the best. It really was, and I don't know if there's much more I can say about it. Trevor, you had a chance to check out Werewolf by Night.
Indeed.
Give us some of your thoughts on it?
So, I definitely was hoping to watch it last night, but I sat down and I fell asleep. So I watched it this morning. And, you know, mornings are not conducive for dark, creepy horror movies, but my gosh, if they did not make something amazing here. I mean, like, I love Marvel. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm not ashamed of it at all. I love them. I love everything Marvel. And even a lot of their stuff that a lot of people don't like. Like, I'll enjoy a good Thor Ragnarok. But I think one critique that you could levy against Marvel is the fact that they don't have like the most inspired camera movements or textures with a lot of the ways their films are set. A few of the newer ones are starting to get a little bit better about that, especially when the Russo brothers are at the helm. They're very good at that texturization kind of thing. But a lot of it kind of has like a shallow depth in the filming itself, which there's so much cool stuff going on with the writing and the characters that it doesn't pull me away from it. But this was like, this had that depth of shot. This had those great moments of just good filmmaking. And it also had that Marvel stuff in it. It had that kind of charming, fun Marvel element into it, like calling the monster Ted, and having that, like, you know, and having both of those people be like intelligent and, you know, at least sarcastic, at least have some version of humor about them, you know. So it, and what you're saying, Key, about it's like how things like Bela Lugosi would be terrifying at the time. What I thought this thing did so well was it gave that atmosphere and that creepy attention to detail that they did have in that time. But those movies, we don't tend to be so like scared of them anymore because our context in life has changed. What scares us has changed so much that a dude coming at you with wide eyes and hands in front of him just isn't as scary. We've seen so many more things. We've been through years and years and years of entertainment. So you could call it we've been numbed or jaded or whatever, but you know, our sensibilities have changed. And so what this did is it knew what our sensibilities were, and it took those sensibilities and it placed it in this beautifully shot and classically trained type of film. And it worked so well because it was so, I mean, I'm telling you, I watched it in the morning, I was still creeped out all the time, but still always had that kind of like, I want to see more of it now because I liked that werewolf character so much, and I loved the chemistry he had both with the Man Thing, Ted, and the lady. And I thought that they all were great together, and it was just a fun little adventure. And it was so different from like the rest of Marvel that I would just continuously forget it was a superhero show. And I was like, oh, sweet. It's Halloween, baby. It's time to watch some creepy gore stuff. And that's exactly what it was. It was exactly what I wanted. Like, I couldn't be happier. And honestly, I wouldn't say like I was like afraid for Marvel's future or anything going in. There was a few movies in a row that
just starting to get worried.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say you give me a universe as good as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're gonna have a lot of credit. You know, like if you make like a couple bad movies, I'm like, oh yeah, baby, but it's Marvel. We'll get there. You know, but it was starting to get to the point where Spider-Man was great, but and Shang-Chi was good. It was a good movie, but it just didn't hit me as hard as I wanted it to. And Black Widow was kind of the same. It was kind of mid-level, like phase one kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, this is decent, but I've seen them do so much better. And then there was the several of their their shows were just very mid. I mean, they had a really good start with WandaVision, but then a few of the other ones, they never rose above like decent, you know. And there were some that I was just disappointed in. Like Hawkeye I was mad that it existed. It was just like all the way through, it didn't do anything. I was bored. I was like, why am I even watching this? And Moon Knight was just disappointing because it had such a good premise, such a good cast, and they just didn't give it enough time to breathe. So I was starting to get to a point where I was feeling that way. But then, I mean, between Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and especially this, like, I think they're starting to find the new footing, you know, which is more, less of a focused overall story and more like, let's just try, let's be in this world where we know we're all in the same world, but let's have it be a little more separate. Let's do some very different, fun, like, they always had different genres, the movies, but now they're like doubling down on the genre, and I like that, and I think if they can keep doing that, I'm you know, I always had like a lot of loyalty for them, but I'm gonna keep being excited.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it's totally understandable, guys. I want to read a couple of the things that some critics are saying about Werewolf by Night now. Over here, Black Bee Buzz, we got Lanita Cook that says, Werewolf by Night is a streamlined mercy in contemporary cinema, a true ensemble horror adventure that's as good the third time as it is the first. Here's another one that says, This is by Dylan Roth at The Observer. A top critic says, Werewolf by Night is a charming tribute not only to the pulpy horror comics on which it's based, but to the scary and silly classic cinema that a generation of film lovers grew up watching late at night on local television. And again, these are just some of the things that people are saying about it, that are enjoying about it. And most people are enjoying it. I mean, if we go over here, we take a look at the actual scores. I mean, look at this, guys. I mean, the audience has got it at a 97% and critics got it at a 92. Pretty much everyone's enjoying this. And again, look, guys, it's October. If you guys haven't seen this yet, go check it out, man. It's the weekend now, so you got plenty of time, you know. We'll probably talk about it more on the show on Monday when Shane's here and get his take on Werewolf by Night and Hocus Pocus and Hellraiser and some of the other scary movies that have come out over the weekend. But yeah, guys, what about you guys? Have you guys had a chance to check out Werewolf by Night last night? Are you going to check it out this weekend? If you already have checked it out, did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Let us know down in the comment section below what you guys thought. Other than that, guys, that's going to do it for our main topics today. So now I'm going to move over to the chat, and we're going to take live questions or comments in the chat. The first question we have here is coming from Landstander. And the question is, what is your favorite Mario Bros. Game? Okay, for me, that's...
A lot of good ones. Do we count? Are we counting any kind of
so I'll give you two things. I'm going to give you the Mario game that I've played the most in my life, and that is Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah.
I have played that game more than any other Mario game by an astronomical amount, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
But that being said, my favorite Super Mario game has got to be Super Mario Sunshine. God, I love that game. It was on GameCube. If you don't know, if you're not sure, it was on GameCube, and it was colorful. It was beautiful. It was open world. It was 3D. It was all the things you wanted it to be at the time, and I really, really, really loved Super Mario Sunshine. Trevor, what about you, man? Landstander wants to know, what's your favorite Super Mario Bros. Game?
Well, I mean, definitely the same on the most played. I played that game religiously. I had it on Game Boy. I played that all the time. Loved that game. I'm gonna go with. I loved Mario Party 4. Mario Party 4 is like, I mean, that's probably the game I spent playing the most with all my brothers and stuff, and it was just a blast. I mean, specifically Mario Party 4, because I played several of the other ones, and a lot of them, I still enjoy every Mario Party, but like that one had such good mini games and stuff like that. I loved that game. Though I do definitely want to give a shout out to Mario Kart as well.
Yeah, definitely want to shout out Mario Kart, and while we're there, Super Mario 64, man. I mean, it was really what gave us that first ability to have that free roaming Mario. So yeah, so cool. but yeah, Mario Kart, right, is the universally universal. I mean, there's a lot of them though. Like when I was a kid, Super Mario Tennis on 64.
That was fun.
Super Mario Golf. I mean, I loved all that shit. So,
I love anything Mario.
Yeah, anything Mario. Give me more Mario. Thank you, Landstander, for sending in the question. We appreciate the support on the channel. Let's see. Moving on. Favorite Superman power, Trevor?
Favorite Superman power? Ice breath.
Ice breath is my favorite Superman power.
What?
Yep. That would be mine for sure.
That would be legit.
It's gotta be
you got your ice
breath.
cream getting a little too cold.
Or you just want a cold glass of water.
That's right.
You know, right?
Maybe your beer's a little bit.
One of my favorite things in the comics is when him and Shazam are fighting, and he, you know, of course, the only way Shazam can beat him is by being Shazam, but he has to say Shazam in order to turn into Shazam. So Superman like sneaks into his room when little Billy Batson's asleep, and he uses his ice breath to seal his mouth shut. So good luck being Shazam today, child.
Have fun with that frostbite, you 10-year-old boy.
And that one came to us from Loki Auto Sales. Thanks for the support on the channel. Lily Ali wants to know, how about your all-time favorite superhero and super villain? Okay. This is going to be an easy one for me. My all-time favorite superhero is Spawn. Spawn is the greatest comic book character ever made. I don't know if you would call him a superhero, but he's my superhero. Nice. So I'm going to call him that. He is an amalgamation of all the great, superheroes. He's got it all. He's got the, chains like Ghost Rider. He's got the cape, he's just the perfect character. I love Spawn. I love everything related to Spawn. I love the Spawn movies. Favorite comic book villain? Gotta be Magneto. Yeah, gotta be Magneto. Magneto's just, he's so real. He's what, I love Magneto. Again, I always talk about what made Magneto, and this is why having the Holocaust and all that isn't important, because what's important is that whoever Magneto is, he sees humanity at its absolute worst. And obviously, as you guys know, the Holocaust could not be a better example of humanity at its worst. But there's lots of examples. There's the Rwandan genocide. There's so many just in modern history that could be used as well. But I think that there's just something so compelling and powerful about this. When Stan Lee created those characters, it was the Martin Luther, the MLK, Malcolm X, and characters is kind of what it was meant to rival Charles Xavier and Magneto. And again, to see this guy, who could probably save us all, Magneto, he sees the worst of us. And to him, it just has to be gotten rid of. And
right,
again,
like roaches,
like we talked about yesterday or so, about when a villain's true thing isn't evil, when his whole goal is at the end of the day, like a part of Magneto's intentions are pure. Like he's seen that humanity can't do it right, and he sees that this new breed of humanity may have a chance to right those wrongs.
Yeah, it's not just intention. It's like his perspective on life too.
Right.
Like the way he sees what he's doing is evil. Like it is not only not evil, it's absolutely necessary.
Right.
And a person like that, they are almost unstoppable. I mean, they are just so convicted, on top of being able to just throw away the morality of whatever the situation is.
I agree. Trevor, what about you? What's your Lily Ali wants to know, what's your favorite superhero and your favorite supervillain, man?
Well, my favorite superhero for me is honestly pretty easy. I have always loved this character from the time I was young. I would dress my brothers up as Batman, but I would dress myself up, and I'd have to make my own costume for this at the time, for Nightwing. Because I loved Robin. Robin, like, as a kid, I obviously connected to Robin, because, like, he kind of is a kid, especially Tim Drake's Robin. Yeah. My favorite show of all.
He's like 10. This is why we could never have a live action Nightwing or Robin running around in the Batman world, because it'd be like, hey man, why do you got this 9-year-old with you?
This 9-year-old cannot take on regular adult men, let alone actual crazy supervillains. Right. But it's as a kid, I think we could have a Nightwing, and maybe he gets him when he's like 18 or something. Yeah, sure. We can maybe do that. But
even 16, 17, I think would work.
Right. Like, and you could start it off with a very reluctant Batman, like, dude, I'm not taking you on these missions, but he just keeps finding it anyway. But I loved Robin. I always would buy Robin suits, but like really, because my favorite show as a child was the Batman the Animated Series. Like, nothing was like that for me. It was so good, and it still is I love that show to this day. And I remember when I saw, because I always loved Nightwing, always loved Robin, and then Nightwing came in, and like my brain exploded in half. And to this day, Nightwing's still my favorite superhero. For supervillain, I want to give a few honorable mentions, throw them out there. For Thanos, especially the movie Thanos is like, it's one of the great villains in movie history, in my opinion. I think I also love Magneto. Magneto's fantastic. Zod's cool, but I mean, I gotta go with my boy here, Joker. Yeah. Joker is. I mean, I think I'm kind of a fanboy for Batman at the end of the day, and I'm also an actor, and there's been like every iteration of this character. And I mean, I would almost include Leto. I haven't gotten to see much of his performance, but I think that he would have brought something interesting if he had a chance. But every other iteration especially have been like special performances, like all-time great performances. So it's like, I think it has opened up a place in my heart as the Joker has, like, as both a character person and an actor, like, that it's just like, I can't help it. I freaking love him, so. I
feel you. Greatest villain, cinematic villain ever, though, guys, is no questions asked, Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Darth Vader. No one puts the fear in you like Vader does. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. So, all right, it looks like I think that's it, guys. So awesome, man! Thank you guys for joining us again for another episode of Screen Talk Live. It's Friday, so we won't see you guys around here until probably Monday. If I have a chance, maybe this weekend, if something drops out, maybe I'll do a quick review video or out of the theater review or something like that. If we go catch Smile like we plan to or something like that. But man, again, we appreciate everyone being here, giving us questions to answer at the end. We love answering your guys' questions. And if you guys haven't, already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, send us some comments, be active in the chat. We'd love to have more people around here being active and stuff. But yeah, I was joined today by Trevor. Trevor, it's been too real, buddy.
It has, my friend. I'll be here every Friday. I really enjoyed this. Being on a podcast is always something I've wanted to do. It's just like, I do a lot of other stuff, and I know that, like, when you think like, oh, he's just sitting there doing stuff, it is a lot of work to do that part, and I really appreciate it because I've always wanted to do this part, but I knew I just didn't have the time to do the other side of the thing. So
yeah, it's this part right here, guys.
Yeah, the part that keys.
This is the part that's the hard part.
Yes. All I gotta do is like just watch movies and then talk about them, which I was already doing. So
that sounds so terrible.
I know. I'm
How
really
dare I make you do those things?
I cry about it every night.
But anyways, guys, again, it's been awesome. It's been a fun week. Thanks for joining us. If you stuck around through this first week, man, we really appreciate all the support. We got a ton of super chats this week too, and we appreciate everyone that sent in comments, super chats, hit that like button, subscribed, and all of that. And so we'll see you guys on Monday, hopefully, and hopefully you guys have a good weekend. We appreciate you guys stopping in. Have a good one, guys.
Bye bye.